Hello, everyone, and welcome to From Nothing, Tam's story. We're picking up on Sunday morning, the day of the Fall Festival, and the first thing I need to ask you, would Tam sleep well before the Fall Festival, or would he be anxious?
He would be anxious. He would absolutely be anxious.
How about you roll a wisdom save for me to see if he manages to get enough sleep that he does not suffer exhaustion?
Oh, that is not a good wisdom save.
An 8.
I am gonna inspo that. I have three inspo. Nope, that's worse. He has level of exhaustion. That sucks.
Unfortunately, Tam is exhausted. The
Okay,
anxiety knowing the Fall Festival is coming, your ability checks will be at disadvantage. Could be worse.
cool. Could be worse,
So,
but okay, got it.
not a great start, but it could be worse. As
Not a great
you
start, but it could be worse. It
you
it makes
awaken
sense.
at like 4 in the morning, just unable to sleep anymore, too nervous about the fall festival coming and how your team's going to handle it, how
This
your
is so
leadership is going to
much.
be put into question.
This is so much like real life. This is so much like what also would happen to Emily. Yep. I think he wakes up at 4 in the morning, and I think what he would do is here is a question. He has been training with medium armor, but not for very long. So I imagine he doesn't have proficiency yet, right?
You've been training for about a week,
Yes.
so no,
Not yet.
not yet.
I think this is doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but this is what he would do. So he will do his homework essentially, and I don't think he's not gonna like train so much that it gives him another level of exhaustion, but he would do like do his kind of drills. Wake up as if it's a normal morning, do the drills with the tumbling exercises that Sagona taught him, um, and whatever kind of like prayers and stuff he goes through in the morning, practice a little bit with the fiddle, but like softly because it's morning time. I don't think he would do that until like after people would start waking up. But I think if there's any time in between that, he might reach out to talk to his sword to be like, "Hi, you're you have more experience with battle than me. Do you have any advice for the festival?"
Um, you ask for advice from
Mhm.
the soul singer. Okay.
Yes.
Um, well, there's lots of things I could tell you, but use cover.
Mhm.
Don't get overwhelmed.
That's the hard part.
Have you ever heard that saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Okay.
The same goes for your fights. If you're fighting a whole slew of enemies, pick one. Deal with them first. Move on to the next one.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. All your attention on that bite.
Okay.
If you let yourself get overwhelmed, you'll start making mistakes. You'll hesitate. People will start getting hurt. And
I
if there's
guess,
anything you can't do, it's hesitate.
okay. Okay. I will be decisive then.
Even if the decision's a bad one, if everyone commits to it, it might work out to be a good one. You don't know.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Soul Singer. That makes me feel better. I'll
I am
commit
at
to
your
the decision.
side,
Yeah,
literally.
you are. You are. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay. Let's go get some breakfast.
Okay, so you've basically killed a couple hours.
Yes.
Breakfast is a big deal in the morning of
Hmm.
the fall festival. Anything possible that you could want to eat is available to you to eat today.
Oh.
And if you eat breakfast, you'll find that the mess hall is packed with
Yeah,
people.
sure. Fair.
Your team is here, all the other teams are here, and you gain 10 temporary hit points.
Incredible. Nori is here, yeah?
She's with a slew of other adventurers, but yes.
Okay. I'm gonna find her and kind of give her a nod.
She looks at you, nods back.
And otherwise not annoy her. I'm
Okay.
gonna nod of respect. Then we're gonna
Okay.
move.
When you get to your
Okay.
table, which has your crew, Hiram, Sigona, Skolna, and Taunus, are all sitting around eating their own breakfasts, Hiram looks at you and he says, "We haven't really talked about how we're going to handle our fights. Do we have a running plan, or are we just going to wing it each one?"
So the best advice that I got this morning was commit, be decisive and commit to things, but I think that that's going to maybe change from battle to battle. But I think if we can try to, focus our attention on one enemy at a time, that might be the play. I know that that's not always going to work. Like if for example, like that those times when like there have been times in fights where you've been kind of surrounded by people and I know that you're hardy and can take a lot, but it might be useful to try to focus on one thing at a time unless there's a good reason not to. Does that make sense?
It does. And Taunus
Um,
chirps up and she says, "I am under the impression that we are attempting to collect totems from our enemies.
yeah.
Do we know if once we have their totem, the fight's over? Or
I'm curious about that too. I mean, I guess we could, you know, focus on the people with the totems and get the totems and then run away. I wonder if there's someone we can ask about that. Is Persh here by any chance?
you don't see him? You didn't see him at the
Okay.
front desk."
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, Taunus then goes on to say, "I also heard a rumor that one of the instructors is going to be on the field to try and stir
What?
things up."
Yeah, Tali said that there would be like full contractors that are gonna also cause problems.
No, not a contractor. I think it was the rogue instructor? And you see Skolna just, her face drops.
Really, Maxwell? Maxwell's the one? Oh my gosh.
"Well, that's a
Okay.
problem," Sigona
Yeah,
says.
he's gonna probably set a lot of traps, huh?
Skolna
And we're never gonna
says, "If
never
we.
gonna find him.
No, unless he wants us to find him."
Did you hear about the monster that's gonna be worth 5 totems at the end?
No?
There's apparently around, I think, sunset, they're gonna release a monster that's worth 5 totems. That's all I know. It's gonna be, other than it's gonna be a hard monster, probably nothing that we've faced in the training room.
Well, that's what I heard
And
about the
whatever
instructor, was if you got their totem, it would be worth 5.
Maxwell's totem, oh my gosh. I'm gonna look over at Skullna.
She's like shaking her head and looking down at her plate.
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. I agree. I think I mean you're the rogue, Skullna. You know him better than any of us. If you think that's not a good play, then let's not do that.
Skolna looks up at you and she says, "If we can get the jump on him, maybe. But I've never seen anyone get the jump on him,
Yeah, it seems unlikely.
and I've been trying."
If you can't do it, then I don't really trust that I can. Here's my other question. We did talk a little bit before about the possibility of, and he's gonna really lower his voice, trying to get totems from the other teams. And I think you're our best shot at that, Skolna. How would you feel about that?
She kind of tilts her head and nods and says, "Well, there's only one totem, right?
What do you mean? Oh,
Each
all the
team's
teams have.
only going to have one totem, yeah?"
Well, can we take the ones that they've already collected?
"I don't know."
I don't know.
And as you're
Probably.
having this conversation, at the far end of the mess hall, Persh steps out, looking
Oh,
at
good.
everyone. And he says, "Good morning, Marigold, students and contractors. We are pleased to have you here with us on the most important day of the year for us, the Marigold Academy. As you all know, the Fall Festival takes place today starting at noon. As you also all know, sections of the city have been segmented and garnered away for all of you to participate in the festival. At 12 o'clock, the festival begins, and at 12 midnight, the festival ends. All of you will be working together with your teams that you've created to try and win. And if this is all news to you, well, listen closely. And the entire mess hall just silences as everyone is looking at Persh, because not everything has been well explained. And while the contractors who've been here before, you see they're kind of smiling and looking at each other and looking out over the crowd, every student is, their eyes are locked on Persh, as not much has been explained. Persh goes on to say, at 12 o'clock noon, all of you shall receive your totem. Your team will receive a total of one totem for each team member, but only one totem is the real one. If your totem is taken from you, if the real totem is taken from you, your team is immediately disqualified. You will be teleported out of the Fall Festival, and better luck next year. If you manage to keep your totem all the way to midnight, all surviving teams will compare who has the most totems. The team with the most totems wins the grand prize, which will be revealed at midnight. The totems are mundane. No magical tricks will be able to tell you which is the real and which is the not. Only a keen eye from up close will let you know the difference. And he's holding up one of the totems on his right hand, and it's a little necklace with a symbol of the Marigold on it. Your totems must always be visible to onlookers. They cannot be hidden on your person, and they must be within reach. Typically this means around the neck, but I'm sure some of you will get creative as to where you locate your totems. A team is only disqualified once their totem is taken, or if they step outside the boundaries of the Fall Festival. The instant any one of your teams steps outside the boundaries of the Fall Festival, your entire team is disqualified, and you will be taken out of the Fall Festival. Are there any questions? And he's like looking over the mess hall and waiting.
How do we know which one is the real one? Or don't we?
Persh looks at you and he says, only a keen eye can determine which totem is the real totem. You'll have to look closely, Tam. However, if you manage to take the authentic totem off another team, your question will be answered, as they will be teleported away from you, as they are expelled from the Fall Festival.
Okay.
And so he raises a hand and he says, welcome to 6071's Fall Festival. I'm proud to have you all here. Make sure you eat up well and prepare, as the Fall Festival begins in 2 hours and 45 minutes. And he steps down off the stage. And as he does, the conversations slowly but surely get a little bit more dense again. Everyone seems similarly nervous to you, but they begin to chatter more. And Tana says, it seems as though many of our questions were answered, but more were created at the same time.
Here's what I think. It might be easier, I think, maybe, to go for people's totems instead of trying to, like, kill, like, knock everybody out. It seems like it would be faster, maybe, if we can do that. What do you think?
Hiram says, I agree with you, but how do we know which totem's the real totem?
I don't think we do.
We'd have to lift every totem off of them to be sure.
We would, but once once the team disappeared, we would know, right? And then we could look at that totem, that last one, and compare to ours and maybe find out which one to go to.
Right, but if they're wearing it, it's not exactly easy to pull a necklace off somebody that they don't want to have taken off them.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, Skolna, I'm sure you could pull it off, but I don't think I could. Not without knocking him out. Skolna shrugs. None taken.
So we don't want to try to go for the necklaces then?
Oh, we can try, but if it's not working out, I'm just gonna hit him.
No, you're really good at that. That makes a lot of sense.
Maybe if I
That
can
makes
distract him, maybe then Taunus can maybe pull some magic tomfoolery and
one other
distract him
thing.
too.
I'm pretty good at distracting them, but I mean, I understand if they're coming for us and they have a different strategy and they're just trying to knock us down and we're trying to pull some shenanigans and it doesn't work, then that seems like a poor strategy. I think here's the play. If you think that you have a good chance of getting the totem from them by like pulling it off of their neck or distracting them somehow, if you think you can do it, try it, go for it. But otherwise, it might be faster to just knock them out and see what we can see.
Another important question. Which one of us is going to wear our real totem?
I don't know because we don't know which one it is, right?
I mean, surely we'll know when we see them, which is ours.
I don't know. That's what he said, right? You have to look closely. It's unclear to me if we're gonna know which one is the real one. I guess the only way is to compare early on and see.
I mean, if we just take... I'm sure when we get them, I'm pretty good at looking at items. I'll get a good look at them and I'll have an idea for sure. And if not,
Okay.
then I'm not worth my salt as an artificer.
You are worth your salt. You'll find it. Okay. What do you think, everybody? I'm maybe not the sturdiest of us. He's gonna look at Hiram.
I'm sure I could make it hard for anyone to take anything off of me. But they'll be able to see me. It might be better for someone sneaky to have it.
Yeah, that's my thought too.
But at the
All eyes.
same time, if they catch Skolna, no offense, Skolna, but, you know, you're pretty slight. They might manage to take you down. Skolna shrugs.
I mean, I have a hard time just seeing Skulna most of the time.
But if Skolna's going in to try and take their totems,
Yeah, that's
she's
true.
gonna be visible.
It might not be the best.
Tana says, I have lots of new tricks that make me much hardier than before.
Yeah?
Yes, I might be the right one to carry it this time.
I would trust you, Tanis. What does everybody else think? Sagona, what do you think? Do you have an opinion?
Sigona's like listening and eating, and she says, all the strategy's over my head. I just want to, hit stuff, but I mean, I know for a fact if Taunus has the right idea of it, then maybe she is the right one to carry it.
Yeah, I agree. One other thing that we could try. I can only do this once, but tieflings can even if they're not sneaky, can be sneaky sometimes. And I can make myself look like you, Tanis. Only for a little while, only once. But it might be enough to confuse somebody.
Well, you could make yourself look like anyone, couldn't you?
Yeah.
If you're always making yourself look like Taunus, they might key into Taunus having the real one.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I think
But
we're gonna have to play it by ear on that one, and you decide which one would be the most distracting. Because maybe
It
two
might
Hirams would be good.
maybe I was thinking about that too. Maybe 2 Hirims. I don't know if I could be as big as him though. even with that spell.
What spell is it?
It's disguise self.
You do know you could look as big as Hiram.
Okay, rad. All right, good to know. Um, what I was thinking though for my magic, I mean, you know me. I can do a little bit of healing. I can do a little. I can make people run away from us if I have to. But generally, a lot of what I'm good at is the defensive stuff. So, Hiram and Taunus and Sigona, if you can be, and I mean, and Skulna too, but if you can be the ones that are doing the distracting and doing like knocking people down, I can keep you safe while you do it.
Hiram says, I like that idea. I can be your front line, no problem. That's what I've been training to do for the last months.
And Skulna, I can't do this very much because it's a lot of my power, but I can make you even sneakier if you need it.
I don't need it. Maybe give it to somebody who does need it.
Yeah, that's fair. It might
She
even
is
be...
looking at Sigona as she says it. And Sigona puts a sausage in her mouth and looks up and says, "What?"
Okay, yeah, we're in a sneaky kind of. I mean, the good news too is I'm kind of tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I was worried about this. But I am pretty good at keeping my eyes open now. So I don't think we're going to be surprised too much by anything out there. And I did do a lot of scouting beforehand, so hopefully that'll help us.
There's some nods going around. And then Hiram says, maybe we ought to go get some potions and stuff before the whole thing starts. Get some supplies.
That's a good idea.
I got a little bit of coin. I can get a few. How about you guys?
I have some.
Sigona chuckles and says, I spent all my gold recently on this. And she pops the hood on a cloak of Elvenkind.
Ooh. I don't have to help you be sneaky, huh?
Maybe a little. But it's better than it was before. At least the armor doesn't clatter as much.
Good to know.
Skolna is smiling behind a mug.
Yeah, I spent a lot of my money on Soulsinger here. He'll pat his side.
Hiram looks at you and says, alright, I can maybe afford 3 potions.
How much are they?
We can maybe talk glass down, but last I saw they were 50 gold apiece.
Okay, I can buy one then. We can maybe talk him down if we do bulk. And he knows me, he likes me, so maybe. Yeah, let's go talk to him.
Didn't you say Nori liked you too?
Like might be a strong word. Why?
Just checking your vocabulary there, in case it's the same sort of like.
No, okay, no, it's not, no. I actually helped Glass do something, and I've worked for him, and I've done good work for him. I don't think he likes, Nore is, if I'm lucky, she's indifferent to me. I don't think it's like that with Glass. Glass I've actually done favors for.
That's good news. Alright, let's head that way. And Sigona stuffs the last few eggs in her mouth and hops down off of the bench. So you guys are going to make your way down to the Griffin's Bag.
Yes.
Okay. Allow me a moment to pull up the map. Okay. As you make your way to the Griffin's Bag, Farum is packed. The town is busy. There are people everywhere. It is full of vendors and passersby and civilians that seem excited about the events that are happening today. And you notice at the end of the street that you're on, you see the Physicary is kind of included in the roped off area. You remember that the Physicary is included as one of the places that the people who are taking part in the fall festival, they can use it as safe haven for an hour. The ropes that cut off the main road, they're low to the ground, so people can step over them. And you see that the main street is lined with vendors that are calling out all sorts of fall festival specials, and the air is thick with the smell of fried dough and sugar and honey and all sorts of sweets that are being sold right now. It's almost overpowering how powerful everything is, that it just smells so strong out here. And as you're making your way down the main street, let me go ahead, pull up this thingy here. Okay. Until finally you arrive at the Griffin's Bag. It is so busy that there are no random events that happen. There's just too much going on everywhere, and everyone's doing their own business, and everyone is cheerfully exciting and just laughing and yelling. You enter the Griffin's Bag, and it, too, is packed.
Yeah.
You see that every employee are out on the floor handling different customers, and you see Glass is no different. And when you enter, the Tabaxi looks at you and says, "Ah, good morning.
Hi, Glass.
I was wondering if I would see you all today.
Yep.
How can I help you?"
We are gonna be in the fall festival, and we're gonna need to be kitted out a little bit.
Well, of
Hiram
course you will.
Is there anything you need other than health potions? What do we think, everybody?
What? Music? Okay, sorry. That was a alarming scale.
That's okay.
Hiram says, "Yeah, we definitely need some potions. But if we've got the coin for it, maybe we should consider like a web spell scroll or something like that."
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And Tana says, I can cover the cost for that." And you see that your team is kind of working together to try and get some supplies. Skolna puts forward the goal to get the arrangements for 4 wire traps.
Nice.
Tanis purchases 2 scrolls of web, and Hiram
cool.
purchases 4 standard healing potions.
And healing potions are 50 gold.
Yes.
I only have 71, so I will get one. I'll put forward the gold for 1 more, and then like 10 for anything else that people need.
Okay. Do me a favor, and please write down. You can make a note of all the stuff that your team is getting,
Sure.
because they are resources for your team to use.
Resources for my team to use. Yep. So 4, you said, so 5 potions, 4 wire traps,
And 2 scrolls
and
of
2
web.
scrolls of web. Okay, got it. Do I have a chance to ask, Tam will be like, look, it's good business today. I'm sure everybody's asked you this. Is there any way you can knock anything off of the price for it? I understand
You're not wrong. Everyone has asked today.
I know everyone's asking.
Roll a persuasion.
At disadvantage, I imagine, because
You are exhausted, so yes, it's at disadvantage.
Thank you. Expertise. That's only a 13.
I am afraid this is indeed my biggest profit day of the year, so...
I get it. I totally get it.
If it was yesterday, probably.
Yeah, I understand. But I appreciate the consideration.
So, is there anything else that you want to look into while you're here?
I mean, he has a thing to ask Glass, but now is not the time to do it. So he'll let Glass get back to. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that is of interest, like on the walls or anything? Like when we ask Glass, is there anything else people are getting? Is there anything you would recommend? What do people usually get other than healing potions and stuff?
Let's see here. One of the more common things people have been purchasing is magical weapons of the minor enchantments, or +1 weapons, entirely for dealing with enemies and creatures you might find that are resistant to mundane arms and armor. Other than that, I have seen many scrolls of the trap variety. Scrolls of grease, scrolls of web, these sorts of things. Those are going like hotcakes. In fact, I think those were my last 2 scrolls of web.
Okay.
However, one that people have overlooked, if I might interest you,
Yeah.
the scroll of ice knife. Have you thought about making
Seems-
things difficult on a temporary basis for people?
What? I don't think I know what that does. He'll look at Tanis.
Tanis kind of smirks a little bit, and she says, "Ice knife hurls a projectile that it deals damage on its own, but after it passes through a target, it explodes and freezes the ground beneath the target and the immediate area around them. It's useful for making difficult terrain for a short period of time, as it does melt away after a few seconds, but you might catch someone unawares and make them tumble."
That seems like something that would be useful for you or for Skolna, huh?
It's the sort of spell you'd use in combat for quick, difficult terrain. And she glances over at Skolna, and Skolna shrugs and says, "I'm broke." And Thomas says, "All right, well, how much for a scroll of ice knife, Glass?" And Glass chuckles a little as he suspects he might have upsold. And he says, 50 gold for one scroll of ice knife. It is a first level spell. There's some like humming and drumming between them.
I have 20.
I can maybe put in 15. Skolna says, I have 15. It was gonna be a meal later, but
No, I understand. I understand. 20.
but she
15.
puts the 15 on the counter, as does Tanis. Do you put out the 20?
I put out the 20. I will have 1 gold left in my name
Okay.
after that.
Glass slides forward a scroll of ice knife. It
Okay,
is the sort of
so-
spell that is useful whether it hits or not, which is good.
Tanis, is it okay to leave this with you? I trust you to use it at the best time.
She looks at the scroll and tucks it away into her. So, I haven't described this to you, as you haven't been with Tanis for a little bit. Her outfit has changed.
Ooh.
She wears a short black coat that seems to connect to these thick leather gloves that she wears that are... They look relatively fashionable, but also slightly bulky. A little bit more bulky than you'd expect for her. Beneath the black coat, you see that she's just wearing very practical adventuring clothes. Almost like a dark purple, not blouse, but like a tunic that seems to go all the way up to the neck. And then leather trousers that look very hardy. Her clothes look more like armor than they do the standard traveling garments that she used to wear.
Okay.
She tucks
Yes.
the scroll into her coat.
Tam's little orb flashes pink for a second.
Okay.
They'll kind of like look up at her. Okay. You changed your look. I like it.
It's my newest creation.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Perhaps you'll get to see it soon.
I bet I will.
Well, you
You
will
wanna
get to see
make
it
it
soon. It's how I fight.
You want to make a surprise? It's how you fight? What is it?
She kind of flexes her hands, and you see little arcs of lightning across the knuckles of the gloves.
Whoa.
They're very impactful. I'm quite proud of it.
Yeah, you should be.
Also,
So you-
more convenient than just rings and jewelry. I have many more hiding places.
So you hit stuff then?
Oh,
like
yes.
Hiram?
Not quite. I rely on my gadgetry. Hiram, well, he relies on his physical training.
I'm excited to see it in person.
I'm excited to
I
really
mean,
test it out. I have not had any good experiments with it yet.
well, no time like the almost present, the however long from now, probably 40 or so minutes.
Agreed. Perhaps we should.
Yeah,
And as
let's get
she's
out of
saying
this.
that, Skolna
Thank
says,
you.
I have an idea.
You have what?
I have an idea.
What's the idea?
We should try and see who else is preparing like we are.
Yeah. Oh, like out in town?
Mm-hmm. Let's go take a look
Okay.
and see who we can find already getting geared up.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, so as you leave the Griffin's bag, one moment here. The town, as I said before, is very busy. And you can it's almost distracting as there are so many people. I need you to roll me a perception check at disadvantage because you're exhausted.
Okie dokie. Exhaustion is gonna be the death of me. Alas. Like 6.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Uh-huh.
No worries, no problem.
8.
You make your way
8.
through the town. As you're heading, it's hard to move through the town, but you're finding that as it gets closer and closer to 12 o'clock, people are getting out of the main road.
Yeah,
The
sure.
main stretch, the market, the up by the main street and the gates, people are getting more and more sparse. And unfortunately, with that perception roll, you don't notice any patterns or anything like that. But you do see a familiar face standing on the side of the street near the Griffin's bag. It's Maxwell.
Hmm.
And as you're heading out of the Griffin's bag, he just kind of nods to you all and he says, Skolna, I expect great things of you. And Skolna just kind of seems to blush and looks at the ground.
That's definitely not a misplaced expectation. She is already pretty great.
I know she is. She's taught me everything I know. Good luck to you all. And Maxwell seems to vanish.
He's terrifying.
Skolna nods.
Sam will say aloud to the air that Maxwell is no longer like present in.
Skolna, out of your peripheral, you see her nod, and she's quiet. And Tawna says, "We have our work cut out for us."
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do you think if he was here, why do you think he was maybe trying to set a distraction or a trap or something? Would this be a good place to check?
I believe perhaps we are already paranoid enough, but we can look. The Fall Festival has not begun yet, after all, and if there's anything that Maxwell likely does, it's follow the rules.
Okay, then all right. Well, then we won't check. He says while also looking around himself.
Hiram perks up and says, I really don't think Maxwell's trying to win, because what if Maxwell wins the Fall Festival? He doesn't get anything out of it.
He doesn't get anything. But I mean, he wants to do a good job hampering us, I guess.
Yeah, he's trying to teach us, right? Like as an instructor. That's what they do, always. And
yeah.
Skolna's nodding, but she's still not saying anything as she's looking at where he was.
You got a thought, Skolna?
Trying to see how he distracted us. How he got out of sight. I don't see it.
Can you say that again? I think you cut out a little bit.
Skolna says, I'm trying to see how he got out of sight. How he distracted us, because I don't see it.
Oh. Huh.
It's
don't
never,
see it.
whenever you see someone looks like they just disappear, they don't, actually. They just find a moment.
Okay.
I don't know how he did it.
He is really wily. And you're going to learn. Because he's going to teach you.
That's not helpful right now.
I know, but you're gonna learn though.
In the middle of your conversation, there is a burst of air. It sounds like a. And Amilla Dorn, the sorcery instructor, is standing in front of you.
Have I met her
I
yet?
don't think so.
I don't
You've
think
seen
I have.
her image on one of the paintings in the lobby. You recognize this is the sorcery instructor. You may not have met her as she says, "Hello, students. I understand
Hi.
your team is participating in the Fall Festival, and you are within the bounds. So, here are your totems." She hands you 5 necklaces, each with the red and gold symbol of the Merigard on it.
Okay.
Make sure you wear them where they can be seen, they can be reached. The festival begins in 10 minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, and good luck. And then she seems to step into a purple rifting portal and is gone.
Are we ever gonna be as good as they are? Wow. Okay. This is very intimidating.
Hiram says, "Of course we are." And Tana
Okay.
says, "Can I get a look at those?"
Yeah, please.
I'm going to roll an
See what you
investigation for Tanis.
Can I help her by also investigating or something?
She rolled a natural 17.
Okay. Sure. We're fine.
She looks at them and she says, "Ah, this one. If you look close, above the rose in the Merigard symbol, there are 3 stamen sticking up out of the rose. This must be the real one."
You're worth your salt and your pepper.
I've never once been compared to spices, but I'll take it. And she takes that totem and she puts it on over her neck and tucks it into her clothes. "All right, I have the real one. Let's keep that under wraps. All of you wear one?"
Great.
And she passes the other totems to you.
Okay.
Where do you wear your fake totem?
I have been thinking about this whole time, and truly I do not think that it would occur to Tam to put it anywhere but around his neck. I
Okay.
thought about like having him hook it around his sword maybe. But I don't think that's feasible, and I think that would just distract him. So I think he's just gonna wear it like a necklace as intended.
Okay. For the
I
most part, that's where most of your team wears them. Skolna does wrap hers around her belt next to her
Yeah,
daggers.
makes
Um,
sense.
I think that's it. Everyone else would just wear them around their neck. Um,
Cool.
no. Hiram, with his heavy half plate armor, wraps his up into his gorget around his neck. So it's not around his neck, it's like hooked into the metal of his armor.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which doesn't it's not much different, but it looks like it'll be harder to get off of him than if
Yeah,
it was around his neck.
yeah. I think if there's any sort of thing that he can do, making it, I think he would Tam would at least try to make the chain a little shorter. So like if he, if it can't be like kind of yanked up over with. There's not a lot of like give.
So, as you are investigating the chain to try and alter it, this chain is not easy to mess with. The chain
Okay,
you
fair.
suspect is made of mithril. You don't
Oh,
think this could be yanked off anybody.
okay, okay. So it can't be broken like that.
Not easily.
Not easily. But like kind of what you do with, I'm thinking of what you do with like conference badges sometimes. Like um if you can you like tie it up in like a little bow, so some of the extra chain like it like rests a little bit higher on your
Yeah,
breastbone,
you
so
could
it's a
do
little.
that. That's fine.
Yeah.
You imagine
Yeah,
if
that
someone were to yank on it, that knot would come undone and it would hurt really bad.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not going to come off.
Okay, cool. I mean that's all I can think. I've been trying to be like, what is the good strategy? I don't know. I don't have one, and I don't think Tam would have one
Yeah.
either.
Your team their totems are secure, and then suddenly you hear a very loud voice that you recognize to be Tabernax ring out over the town. "Let the Fall Festival begin!" And as it does,
Okay.
all of the ropes suddenly pull up tight. And a blue, it's almost ephemeral, this field of blue energy seems to emerge from the ropes on all sides. And suddenly there's just an air of tension everywhere as the Fall Festival begins.
Hooray!
Which means,
Oh no!
before anything else, we have some rolls to roll.
Okay, what are we rolling?
We are going to roll your first encounter, which in this case, I'd like you to roll. Roll me a d6.
D6. 5.
Okay. Roll me a d2.
What is /R D2?
You can also roll a d4 and we can divide it by 2. It's fine too.
Okay, well, that might be easier.
A 1.
1.
Okay. So, with a 1, the enemy team has the advantage. Roll me a d20.
Okay. I would just like to say that because Tam is alert, he can't be surprised.
Okay, so it makes sense
Why
that
not?
this is where this happens. Can you give me any modifiers or notes you have on the docks, on South Dock? What do you have?
Oh my god, the docks is a terrible place, as I recall. What I have... Oh no, actually, the docks is okay. The docks is okay. South Dock. Stealth +2, traps +2, combat and bottlenecks +3.
Okay. Now, unfortunately, the enemy team has the advantage.
Okay.
Hold on a second here.
The main street that's bad.
As the Fall Festival has begun, your team and you are making your way up and away from Glass's shop. And you're up near the docks, and it's almost as though you're caught unawares. You're not surprised, truly, but that doesn't mean your team isn't.
Sure.
As suddenly emerging from over the rooftops are these strange small creatures. You've never seen the like of them before. They almost look like sentient plants. They're small creatures. And as I show you where you are, I'm going to zoom in here. As you are rounding the corner, I need you to roll initiative.
Mm-hmm. Initiative is an ability check, yes? So disadvantage?
It is, yes.
14.
14?
It
Okay.
is initiative specifically why I used inspiration. I was like, I don't want advantage. I don't want disadvantage on initiative.
Okay. Hold on a minute. So, your team is caught unawares, although you're not surprised. These creatures... Why don't you roll me a nature check?
Okay. I am only half proficient in that.
It is a disadvantage because you're exhausted.
Five.
Okay.
No idea. But maybe Taunus? Anyone else?
Don't think so.
Okay.
You don't know what they are. They're small, tiny little plant-like creatures. At a glance, you don't suspect them to be much of a threat. However, Skolna is surprised, and so does not get a turn this time. This strange creature, you hear it make this noise, and it lifts a vine sling from its belt, and it throws something pointy towards one of you. One moment.
Which one?
You don't know. You'll find out in a moment.
Oh no!
A spiny thorn comes flying through the air towards Sagona. And Sagona takes 8 points of bludgeoning damage. God damn it, roll good. And then the strange creature stays up on the roof and will dip back. The next one will do the same. This one, it's riding a... It's hard to tell from on the ground. It's... All of it looks like plants. It's like a plant dog. You've never seen anything like this before. But it will also sling a thorny object toward one of you. Oh, that is natural one. It has advantage. Has to do better than that.
It does not have advantage on me, but
Correct.
on everybody else.
It is not throwing it at you. It missed with an 8, so don't worry about it. The next one is going to run over this way. And it will throw a net. And I require a dex save from you and Sigona. If you don't mind.
Do I make saves at disadvantage? No,
No.
that's not until other level of exhaustion, right?
Correct. Okay, you succeed. Sigona has to beat a 12. Sigona rolled a 6. Sigona is netted. She is restrained. All of this has happened so quickly, she gets hit in the head by this spiny rock, and then a net, and Sigona looks up and says, "What the fuck is this?" She seems very confused. Let me apply the restrained effect to her.
Gotcha, Sigona, it's okay.
It's now your turn.
Okay.
Where is it coming from? And she's like looking around.
Have I seen them at this point?
You see them. You were not surprised. You know where they are.
They're up here. They're up there. Do I get a sense that any of them is more dangerous? Like the little green ones? Do I get the sense that the dog is more dangerous?
The one
than the
riding a dog you know is probably faster.
Okay.
You don't know about dangerous. They all seem to be equal in threat.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna say, okay, focus on the dog first. It's right up there. I'll point to it.
Hiram is like looking at the other roof. Sigona's like dealing with the net, and Taunus is like, she's currently trying to like rub something out of her eyes. Your party is surprised. Next turn, they will likely do something.
Yeah. There, you guys. I'll take a shot at it with my crossbow.
Okay, roll your attack.
Pretty good. 20.
20, yeah, you absolutely hit.
That is max damage. 9.
Okay. One moment here. 9 damage. Okay. It's suddenly... You watch as it falls off of the dog and clambers up back onto its feet. And you hear it say, and the other things seem to acknowledge that it gave them an order.
It's the leader. It's the leader. Get that one down first.
And Sigona still says, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Your team will resolve itself after.
Yeah, that's fair.
the surprise is over.
No, that's fair.
Anything else in your turn? Bonus action?
I'm gonna say I only have 5. I'm gonna have 5 bardics. I'm gonna keep them for right now.
Okay. Taunus is surprised. Sigona is surprised. Hiram is surprised. Last creature. This creature will hop towards the edge of the roof and is going to throw a vial of acid at you.
Okay. Straight roll.
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay, great.
Another one. So a vial of acid just on the ground next to you.
Did it even break? Can we like take it?
Yeah, it broke. It fell like 2 stories. It definitely broke. It just is harmless. It's now Skolna's turn. Skolna, no longer surprised, will roll in athletics. She darts up onto this roof and will
Amazing.
bonus action hide,
Yep. Excellent.
climb up, and take a shot. With advantage. I need to make sure they did not see her. One moment. Oh, yeah. They rolled a 5. Okay, sneak attack. She deals 12 points of piercing damage to the one that you declared was the leader. You see the strange plant dog is now defeated. And the creature is standing over it and it points to Skolna and goes, "Don't do it, Skolna!" And the other creatures seem to respond as Skolna will jump back down and descend from the roof in full cover.
Okay.
It's now their turn. This one, upset that the one it was just ordered to deal with is no longer in the line of fire, will step forward and will sling at you. That's an 18 to hit you.
That will hit me. I am kicking myself for not going behind cover, but you know, I wasn't thinking.
You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as a rock just right off your head.
Yep.
And then this one will jump over here and get into full cover. The leader will run, no longer having its dog, up onto the top of the roof. And it will use its special ability to regenerate. And it heals for 5. A little something. And then it will continue running over the side of the roof, taking half cover from you and your allies at this angle. This one will step this way and sling towards you as it was ordered to do so. That's a 16 to hit you.
That will also hit me.
You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as another rock
And-
plunk off of your head.
End of my temp HP.
Okay. At the end of its turn, it will spend the last of its movement to get... It cannot quite make it behind cover. It is still out in the open. It's now your turn.
I can still see the leader guy
The leader is in half cover from you.
in half cover, but I can see it. Will it be in half cover if I go around this way?
If you get closer to the building, it will be in full cover.
Okay. So if I'm here, okay. I see. So if I'm back here, I
Mhm.
was here to start with. This is the best shot I'm gonna have at it. Is what I'm getting.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna take that shot. I have no idea what its AC is, but Tam
Not
said
great.
he would do a thing, so he's gonna do the thing. That's another 15. That's another 20 to hit.
You hit.
Amazing. Come on, roll high. 7 points.
Okay. Had it not healed, it would be dead. The second
Amazing.
crossbow bolt just... And you hear... "Ah, you know what, ah!" Didn't seem to like that.
Okay, great. This time, Tam will actually fucking get behind cover because he knows how mechanics work.
Well
We'll
done.
go back here.
Yes, those crates can act as cover. You're in full cover.
Okay, great, fabulous. Wow, I can't believe I didn't do that.
Or did you have a bonus action you want to use?
Do I use my Bardics now or later?
You can get them back on a short rest.
I can't. I'm not level 5.
You cannot get them back on a short rest. I'm sorry.
I cannot get them back on a short rest. I think I'm gonna hold. I think I'm gonna hold. No Bardic right now.
Okay. Then next it is Taunus' turn. Taunus looks back at you, and she says, "Shall I go up
Finish it
there
off.
or deal with them from here?"
I think from here, maybe. What do you think?
Make the call.
They're in. Get the one that's in half cover first, and then go up there next round.
She shrugs, backs up a little, raises her hand, and you see a tiny, like, out of the top of the glove, a small tube protrudes, and a beam of cold just out towards it, and she uses Ray of Frost. And she rolls a 15, which does hit. And she deals 1 point of cold damage.
Yeah.
Roll
so
the
close.
minimum. Okay. Well, its movement is slowed by 10 feet. And then she will run up and press herself to the building, preparing to climb up next round.
Is she in cover now or
She's
not?
in full cover completely. They'd have to get off the building to deal with her.
Very
It's now
cool.
Sigona's turn. Sigona's restrained. She's got this net on her, and she is going to break herself free of the net.
Josh.
She makes an attack on the net. It's at disadvantage because she's restrained, but the AC is 10. She rolls a 12 to hit, which hits. She deals. If she needs to deal more than 5 damage, she deals 10 damage. The net is torn in half as she just the warhammer breaks the net in half. What the fuck? And that is, she's no longer restrained. One moment here. Seeing what she has as a bonus action. I don't think she has anything. No. She's all reactions. She looks at you. What now?
Get in cover. Do you have something to get them on while they're up on the roof?
She nods and then runs up next to the roof.
Okay.
Then it's Hiram's turn. Hiram. Let's see. Hiram doesn't really have ranged options.
Yeah.
He can
Get on
throw
up there,
stuff.
Hiram.
He will run over here and he will athletics. I think he will avoid raging.
Yeah. There.
Okay, yeah, he rolled a 13. He just climbs up the roof, spending 10 feet of movement. And now he's up here, and that's where his movement ends, and it is fortunately in melee with one of them. So he's going to swing his longsword aggressively. He rolls a 13 to hit, which is their AC. It's the longsword's in one hand, so just damage.
Calm down, Hiram.
He slashes it for 11 points of slashing damage. Oh, man. And that creature is nearly killed in one swing from Hiram.
Amazing.
He will bonus action shield bash.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
He's
Well,
going
that,
to try and
like,
knock it out of the roof. He's going to try and knock it off the roof.
Knock it off the roof. Incredible.
But he rolls a 9 to hit, so he misses. The creature's just too small, and and the strange little plant just ducks underneath it. Hiram is in melee. It's now the creature's turn, who just got fucked up by Hiram. It will attempt to claw at him with the strange long talons made of plant matter. But it has an AC of 20 to contest with, and it does not hit. And it will use its special ability to try and regenerate. And it will heal for 2. Okay. It rolled minimum. Okay, next. It's now Skolna's turn. What? So you don't have to give me the orders in character. What would you have Skolna do?
I mean, I think the orders right now are still finish off that first one that's giving them orders. And if she has a second shot, take it at the one that's damaged.
Okay. Then Skolna will run this way. Fine. Will athletics up. One moment. DC is 10. She rolls a 17. She climbs up onto the roof, spending 10 feet of movement. She will bonus action dash. Run up to this guy. Stab it with her rapier. Natural 20. No, it rolled off it. It rolled off it. It's a 14 to hit.
Oh,
still hits.
Still hits. Yeah, it's not in cover, so that's
Yeah.
great. Still hit.
Yeah, to her, it's just right in front of her. And she deals 7 points of piercing damage to this creature, which kills it. Skolna will reach down. She sees the totem hanging off of this creature's neck. She'll grab it.
Mm-hmm.
One moment while I roll to see if that was the real one.
Oh, sweet. That's interesting that it's random. I love that.
It was the real one. All
Amazing.
of these creatures suddenly vanish.
Okay. Good job, everybody.
And that's the end of combat.
Okay. I want us to all get in the habit of checking that we have our totems. I know it doesn't really matter for all of us, but just in case, make sure that they're on you.
There's
just in case.
kind of some nods, and Skolna checks herself, as does Hiram as they climb down off the roofs. Everyone has their totem.
Amazing. Anybody need anything? You got hit a little bit. You got hit a little bit, Sagona. Are you okay?
Skolna's like frowning, and she says, "I'm fine."
Okay. Sorry, you got hit.
It was frustrating.
Yeah.
I didn't know where the
Sorry.
hell they were.
Yeah.
What the fuck were those?
I don't know.
Now I'm going to allow Tanis to roll a nature check, but she's no longer
Nature,
surprised.
nature dogs, green dogs, fine things, rock throwers.
Tanis says, "I don't know what they were. Bizarre little creatures, that's for sure." Tanis is not actually proficient in nature. Hiram is. Hiram will roll.
What an interesting trait for a barbarian.
Hiram chuckles and says, "They're vegapygmies.
What now?
They're little fey plant folk. They like to mess with travelers. They're pretty harmless even in the wild."
You know about so much more than horses.
Yep. And he just like kind of brushes off some of the gross plant thorns that are on his legs.
Okay. So
you did not take any actions that were particularly loud, so there's not much chance of another party hearing you and trying to interfere. So
great.
We will return to the map and roll up your next encounter.
Okay.
You have a moment if you'd like to do any. You have a few minutes if you'd like to.
So here is my question regarding traps, and this is like, I don't know if this is an out of character or in character thing, but like, is the point of the traps that like does Skolna set them like in combat, or do we set them like before? Like, if we had a surprise round, is that the point that we would be setting the traps, or like would we set a trap on this map and then it would benefit us later? But I don't know if we're gonna roll that map again. Like, what's the protocol?
The way it's going to work, it's all based on which team has the advantage. If your team has the advantage on them, that's when you're going to have opportunities to get them with a trap.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you have four encounters that you're going to be able to have a trap set for.
Okay. Cool.
So that like the encounter will start and they'll be in a trap or they'll be in a web spell, things like that.
Gotcha. So these spells and things are like things that if we get the jump on somebody, but that's kind of random. Got
Correct.
it. Cool.
So, I'd like you to roll me another d6.
D6. Not the market. 6. Another D4?
With a 6, hang on. All right. I need a D4, yes.
4.
2. Your team has the advantage.
Yay!
So, on the Chapel Gate map, what are your notes, modifiers? What do you have for the Chapel Gate?
What are my notes? My notes are, I think we don't have anything. I don't have a note for it. I have +1 to stealth Chapel Gate, +1 DC to traps, but I don't have it written down, but I didn't write down a modifier for combat. I think that was the one that we had no modifier.
You did not have a modifier for combat here. But the traps and the stealth is what's going to flavor your advantage here. So, cool. You have got to roll me a d20, please.
Okie dokie. This is a very cool system. I like it a lot. 19.
A 19.
I rolled a 20 last time. This is wild.
You rolled a 1 last time.
Oh, I rolled a 1 last time. You're right. Okay. I hope that is not, like, how difficult is the encounter.
Okay. I will say the higher the number, the more difficult the encounter is going to be.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. We got warmed up, and now we're going to do the harder thing.
Okay, so which trap do you use? Do you use one of Skolna's wire traps, or do you use a web spell, ice knife? It's up
What
to
do
you.
the wire traps actually do?
The wire traps are just a burst of damage. When they trigger, they deal damage to anyone caught in it, and anyone caught in it must make a dexterity saving throw, or they take half damage if they succeed.
Do we have enough of an advantage that we can try to place this like in a place that it would affect the spellcasters, like the people with lower AC, or is it just a we're gonna
I'm
put it
going
at
to roll to see who gets affected by it.
Okay, got it. Um, okay. Let's do we have 4 wire traps. We can only use one, right?
Correct. You let me tell you, you're not going to want to use more than one.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, and then let's use a wire trap.
Okay.
Set a wire trap.
So, Skolna sets a
Because
wire
we
trap.
have, because we have the advantage, do we get to like hide beforehand? Can we try? Can we
Yeah,
hide?
you guys have a bonus to stealth. So, I'm going to choose a location on the map that makes sense based on what we talked about, where you guys are hiding, and you have the advantage here. So, go ahead and roll me stealth at advantage.
Straight roll for me.
Straight roll for you, straight roll for Hiram, straight roll for Sigona.
No, advantage for Sigona because she has a cloak of elven kind. She would have a straight roll anyway, right?
No, she has half plate armor, so it would be at disadvantage.
Oh, I thought the cloak canceled out the disadvantage. Never
The
mind.
cloak gives other people disadvantage to see her.
Oh, to see her. Okay, that I got it. I got it.
It does give you advantage on stealth, but she's got a half plate, which gives her disadvantage on stealth. So it's a straight roll. And once you
So
have
straight roll-
disadvantage, you cannot negate the disadvantage all the way.
Straight roll for me, which I got a natural 1, so I'm going to use my last. And I have 3. I had 3 inspirations. I'm using one of them here to re-roll that
Also,
terrible stuff.
Your
Yeah.
team has a +4 to team rolls, so a team stealth roll is one of those rolls that we'd use that for. The way this is going to work is you're going to roll stealth, as is the rest of your team. I'm going to take the average of all your stealths, and then I'm going to add 4 to it.
Okay.
So
Okay, so
rolling
that-
a natural 1 is not necessarily terrible if
It's
your
not
team
terrible.
rolls
Okay.
well.
That's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. So I already re-rolled it, but if it's okay for me to not. Oh wait, it didn't show up on the board. Sorry, because I had to restart Foundry.
What did you roll
I
for
will
stealth?
do. I rolled originally a natural 1 for stealth before I knew that it was okay for me to do that. And then I rolled a 16 for stealth the second time.
Okay, if you're choosing not to use the inspiration, we'll take the first roll.
Okay, well we can take the first roll. That's okay with me. Sorry about that.
It's okay. The wire trap triggers in a 15-foot cube.
Okay.
The dexterity save, you have a bonus to traps. What was it again?
Only +1 at Chapel Gate.
Okay. So, a 15 is the DC for Skolna's wire trap.
And we
It-
have +1. The +1 to stealth has already been rolled in.
I need to roll your party stealth right now.
Gotcha.
I'm getting the encounter set up as we're speaking.
No, you're all good. You're all good. But our like party proficiency bonus that we earned from working in the training room and stuff is +3,
+4.
+4. Okay, so we in addition to that for Chapel Gate we have a +1 to stealth.
Right, so
I
it's going
think
to be a +5 total.
Cool.
I realize it's a whole weird system I'm working
No,
here.
it's all good. No, I love it. It's great. I love being a playtester. It's amazing.
Okay, some of you guys rolled pretty good on stealth. Let's see. All right. Taunus is undetectable. Skolna is pretty sneaky. All right, so your party's average on stealth is a 21 after
Damn.
adding the
Okay.
bonus.
After added bonus. Okay. Great.
So, as that happens, I'm going to show you what the encounter looks like. As all of you are nestled on the rooftop above the general store, you are all here. And all of you are looking down over the rooftop very carefully as you watch as Skolna has just set this wire trap. The spring's tense and quiet as you see a number of fey creatures, these strange purple-skinned entities. Each one is small, little over 3 feet tall. They're kind of bouncing and walking and jittering between each other. They're surrounding a horrible green-haired woman who is the stuff of bad dreams. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Does this look at all like this hag that we fought that one time?
Not exactly the same, but
Okay.
similar.
12.
You've heard stories enough about a sea hag, just know one when you see one.
Okay.
And these little fey creatures that are bobbling around near her, appropriately by the name, are boggles. Small fey, basically nuisances that like to play with adventurers and torment them. As the first 3 of them step up, you see the sea hag did not see it and trips Skolna's wire trap. I need to make a dex save for them. It's not that good. DC's 15, as I said.
It's +1 because of the... Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's 14 plus 1. She rolled a 14. She fails. The boggles have a little bit better of a dex save, but those 3 in the back are all going to have to deal with it. Okay, 2 of the boggles succeed. The last boggle fails. So, Skolna's wire trap deals a lot of slashing damage. How much, do you ask? I'll tell you. Roll me 6d6, please.
Holy shit, really?
Really, traps are dangerous.
That's so much. 66, real high. That's a lot
17
of
points of slashing damage. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Okay, this boggle is reduced to 1 hit point immediately. Whoa, please, Foundry. These 2 boggles are half-healthed, and the sea hag... You watch as this wire suddenly and just seems to lash out at everyone in the immediate radius, and the sea hag, who did that? And is looking around in all directions. They don't see you. Your party has surprise on them. You have a surprise round. That being said, I need you to roll initiative for me.
Yep. Once again, a 5 and a 13, which does not matter because it is a 5. $14 initiative.
Okay. One moment here. You have a 14 initiative?
Yep, because I got
Okay.
+9.
Plus 9.
Yeah, alert. Adds 5.
Ah, yes, I forgot about all that. I just wanted to make sure you weren't adding the team bonus to your initiative roll.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
Okay. They were completely caught by surprise, so this boggle does not get a turn. Skolna's up first. As surprised, she looks to you and says,
Take the hag.
Sea hag.
Yeah.
And she will raise her short bow. And it's an advantage. She has sneak attack. That's a 22 to hit. That certainly hits.
Oh, yeah. Fuck him up, Skolna. I have no idea what her, subclass is yet, but I know she is dangerous.
She deals 18 points of piercing damage to that sea hag.
More than the trap.
Yeah. An arrow just right into the back of the sea hag, right above the spine, and she whips around looking, and she's looking at the front of the general store. She has not looked up to see you all, just barely peeked over yet. Okay, it's now Taunus' turn. Taunus looks at you and says, Sea hag?
Sea hag.
Sea hag. And she will raise her hands. She's going to just burn a ray of frost. She's not going to go anything crazy.
Yeah.
Has attack with advantage. That is a 14 to hit, which is the Sea Hag's AC.
Oh my gosh.
She rolls 2 points of cold damage.
Oh, poor her.
Well, they're hitting, so her move... Dude, please.
Her movement is reduced, and that's good.
Yes. And then, Tanis will stay right where she is. This boggle does not get to go. Hiram's turn. Hiram looks to you and says, I'm going down there.
Yeah, you want to jump down? Go for it.
He will athletics to jump down.
Fuck him up, Hiram.
All right. He didn't roll, even though I told him to. He rolled a natural 17. He hops down with no trouble, losing only 5 feet of movement, and he will surge around this cart and attack the Sea Hag with his longsword. The Sea Hag has enough HP that he cannot cleave, but he does attack with advantage. That's natural 20.
Incredible.
Okay, critical, one-handed. He deals 14 points of slashing damage with that crit. Sea Hag has 1 hit point.
Oh my gosh.
He will bonus action try and shield bash it to slam it up against the wall. Still has advantage. That's a hit with a 24. So it's Sea Hag needs to make an athletics contest against Hiram, which is not likely to succeed.
Good luck. Good luck, Sea Hag.
Sea Hag rolled pretty well. Sea Hag rolled a 15. Hiram rolled a natural 14, though, and his strength is better. So the Sea Hag is, boom, slammed up against this wall. She's thrown 10 feet. I will roll, well, technically she is knocked unconscious, because it was bludgeoning.
Great. She has 1 hit point, though. She's just unconscious.
Yes. Now it's your turn.
You
You have a horde of boggles to deal with.
I have a horde of boggles. I'm going to try to finish off the one with 1 hit point.
I imagine you'll succeed. You have advantage because it was a surprise.
Got advantage because of surprise. Yeah, it seems like enough. Say natural 16 and a natural 14.
Yeah, you hit. It has an AC of 14.
Great. I imagine
you kill
1 damage will be enough. Yeah.
Yes, the boggle is
That
killed.
is 1 damage anyway. That's pretty good. But yeah.
Hey. Yeah, crossbow went straight through its boggle head, and it... So, boggles are weird because they're fey creatures. As the arrow hits it, it just vanishes into a mist of purple, and a totem, pink, onto the ground.
Totem falls down. Okay, but that was not the one. Okay,
You
good
don't
to
know.
know. Yeah.
Could have
But
been.
they would disappear. They would disappear.
Technically,
though, right?
it's not in your control.
It was not picked up by us yet. Okay,
It's just
got
on
it.
the ground.
Got it.
So, anything else in your turn? Bonus action.
Yeah. Can I can. How far? The thing says
You're 10
that I
feet up.
am. I'm 10 feet up, so I can't get to where the boggle was.
Not in
'Cause
one
there's
turn, not without dash.
Not without dash. Okay.
Unless you pull some crazy jump and hurt yourself.
Unless I pull some crazy shit, which I'm not very good at athletics, so I'm not going to try that.
Okay.
I think I will stay up here, but I'm going to look over at Sigona and Hiram. Go get the totems.
Sigona says, all right. Hiram is distracted as boggles are dancing around about his feet, trying to hit him with clubs. But Sigona nods, and at the end of your turn, Boggle doesn't get to go. Boggle doesn't get to go. Boggle doesn't get to go. Sea Hag is unconscious. Sigona will leap down. I'll roll athletics for her. She rolls a 14. She does not lose any movement. She spends 5 and will run, provoking an attack of opportunity from this Boggle.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get a reaction. It's surprised. Never mind.
Surprise. Yay.
Sigona picks up the totem.
Can she
rolling.
get... Oh, that's right.
It is not the authentic totem.
Can she get the one from the hag?
So picking up an item just one is a free action. She'll have to spend an action to pick up another one. Do you want her to do that?
Yeah, I think the priority is that because if the hag has the right totem, then the encounter ends. So
Okay,
I think that's...
she will pick up the totem from the hag, spending her action to do so. I'll roll. It is not the
protect you,
authentic
though.
totem.
It's not the authentic totem. Okay.
No. She has 2 shitty fake totems in her hands. And she
That's
says,
fair.
it's not the one! And she just like throws them on the ground.
Got it.
That's Sigona's turn.
Sigona's turn.
Now it's Boggle's turn. This Boggle will run over and will say, "You'll die for that!" and swing its pommel, where it basically hits her with its giant head. It goes to headbutt Sigona. Let's see if it hits. It rolls a natural 1. It basically stumbles past Sagona and nearly headbutts its ally. And I'll say it falls prone because of the dumb nature of its attack. It will use its bonus action to Dimensional Rift.
Whoa!
Which
What?
it now is prone up on the roof. That's its turn. Skolna.
That's hilarious.
Skolna is going to... It sees that one is prone. And she will
uh-huh.
dart up over the edge of the roof and run over to it. And intends to put it out of its misery with her rapier.
Yes. Fabulous.
Attack with advantage. That's a natural 15. Absolutely hits. This plus 2d6. Okay. The rapier damage was pretty poor, but she rolled really good on sneak attack. That's 15 points of damage.
Can I take it down?
No. There's 3 hit points remaining. Skolna will bonus action offhand attack with a dagger.
Amazing.
That no one knew she had.
Yeah. Tam thinks of Nori.
She rolls a 25 to hit.
Incredible.
So this dagger lances out and deals 5 points of piercing damage. No, it's an offhand attack. So it deals 3 points of piercing damage. No. I rolled a 1. It deals 1 point of piercing damage. Sorry. I was like, that's not how math works. This boggle is still alive. Skolna will then run over to this side of the boggle and goes prone.
What?
She's in full cover from anybody else.
Whoa. That's rad.
Taunus' turn. Taunus looks at the boggle that's nearly dead and looks at you and says,
Finish off that one.
all right.
Every totem we get.
You're right. And she runs over to it, and she looks at her gauntlets and says, this feels like a waste, but... And then she drops the fist down on this boggle and uses her thunder gauntlets.
Yay! Armorer!
That's a 23 to hit. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
As the gauntlet slams into the chest of the boggle, you just hear this muted boom, and the boggle just into purple mist, and the totem falls onto the ground. She picks it up. Let's see if that was the real one. That was the real totem. The encounter ends as all of the boggles and the sea hag just vanish.
Well, that was bracing. Good job, everybody. That trap was clutch, Skolna.
I know. And she just kind of like twirls the dagger, and then she slides it back into a sleeve. You don't know where that sleeve is. It seems like the dagger just vanishes.
It's you're so cool. You're so cool. Everybody's so cool.
And as a thunder item was used, there is a chance other people hurt you. So, please roll me a d100.
A thunder item?
Yes. Taunus's gauntlets deal thunder damage.
Oh, right. Okay.
So they are not quiet, unfortunately.
They are not quiet. That's fair.
88.
88.
Roll me a d20.
Yes.
10.
10.
Okay. So the way this works is there is a chance for other parties to hear your combat if you use anything that's loud, like an explosive, anything that deals thunder or lightning, or any spell that deals fire or force damage. Those sorts of things can be heard by other people. Or a firearm, obviously.
Yeah.
After I see the chance, I look to see what encounter you roll, and then I roll a morality check to see if those entities would be willing to basically ambush you based on the fact that you just want to fight.
Yeah. Sure.
So, that being said,
love that.
Before I roll to see their morality check, this is where we're going to stop today's session.
I had a feeling. This is good. This is a good stopping place. Wow, 2 whole combat encounters.
2 encounters, 2 successful totems acquired.
Rad.
Well done.
Cool.
You can see how having the advantage can be huge against some of these
Oh, huge.
encounters.
Yeah, that counter was a cakewalk because of the advantage.
Whereas if the Sea Hag and its boggles had the jump on you,
It would have
it
sucked.
would have been
Yes.
way worse. Yes.
I am very glad that the encounter that we had, we didn't have advantage, was the low,
Yeah, just the
the where we
Vegapygmies.
rolled a one. Yeah.
The Vegapygmies are the weakest encounter you can encounter. They're the one.
Fabulous.
They are very silly. They just suck.
That's very funny. It's very funny.
Uh,
Cool. Great.
so
Feeling confident.
good. I
Love
hope
it.
you had a good time. The fall festival has kicked off.
Yay!
I mean, I hope next time when you play, you will have more good luck as you acquire totems.
Me too. How many sessions are we thinking? Is it like 3 sessions for the fall festival? 4 sessions? Is it kind of like unclear?
It's unclear. I'm not going to limit it to a certain number of sessions. It's basically going to take as long as it takes. I expect
Cool.
them to be an average of 3 or 4 sessions, but they might go longer, might go shorter.
It's basically like until your team is out. Yeah.
Until your team is out or my timer is at midnight.
Ooh. Okay. Like, do I have any idea how long the encounters are taking? Like,
You can
how
roll a
close-
survival check after the encounters to see how long it's been. But
Okay.
it was like 20 minutes just now, so
Okay.
don't.
Yeah, okay.
We've just started.
We've just started. Got
Yeah.
it. Cool.
There's
cool.
also going to be time frames in between your encounters. Like it might take longer for you to find another party to fight, or they'll be right after each other. It depends.
Gotcha.
Also,
Cool.
there are 3 locations for your party to short rest in. You can only short rest in each location once. So. you
Oh,
only
I
get-
like that a lot.
You only
Okay.
get 3
So
short rests.
we only get 3 short rests. Okay. And we have a limited. Obviously, at level 3, you have a limited number of hit dice. Anyway.
Yeah. So, that's the way the fall
Cool.
festival is going to play out.
I'm into it.
This recording, it's going to go up on YouTube, but it's going to be unlisted. So only you can listen to it at first, and anybody else who has already had their first fall festival session can listen to it.
Okay.
There's
got
no
it.
spoilers for anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I've already done Lorna's, so you can listen to that one now, but you could
Penn,
not.
Penn told me that she'd done her session, but it wasn't going to go up because of spoiler things.
Right.
And I was like, that's such a good idea. I like that a lot.
Right. I don't want anybody to listen to a fall festival session until they've had their first one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So, thank you
Cool,
for playing,
rad.
and to everybody at home, thank you for listening. We love you, and we'll see you next time.